If you've ever been frustrated or even angry with a client, then it's most likely because you are not charging them enough. Let me explain and show you how to fix this. We'll use two clients for our example. We got Marcus and we got Susie. Now, Marcus, he is a new business. He's bootstrapping everything. So right off the bat, he's telling you that budget is a concern. He's already positioned you low. He needs a 10-page website and he needs a booking form. He says it just needs to be simple, but the details aren't really clear. While Susie, on the other hand, she's been running her business for 5 years. She's gone through some trials and tribulations, some ups and downs, but things are going way better now. She knows that she needs a better look and feel for her website, and she's ready to get something proper and professionally done. The scope for Susie's project is a 10-page website as well. Now, Susie, she does not give a problem with the budget, and you price her to your normal price at $5,000 for her website. But Marcus, on the other hand, because you know budget is a concern and he gave you a very good story, you most likely felt bad and wanted to help the guy out. So you gave him a better deal. Maybe $2,500, half the price of Susie's website. And this is where it all goes downhill. You have a discovery call with Susie. It is smooth. The vibes are good. She is very clear on her instructions and her expectations. You know exactly what you need to do for her project. In fact, you ended everything on a very productive note and you're ready to start designing her website. Marcus, on the other hand, you have a call with him and already inside of the discovery, he's bringing up brand new ideas. He's already pushing boundaries. He is thinking of things like more complex booking forms, even asking questions, how difficult will it be to add a second language on the website? Things like that. And already from the very beginning, you're now trying to defend the scope and having to bring up the contract before the project even begins. And what makes it worse is you can't get clear answers from Marcus. You ask him questions, but he kind of dances around them. He isn't very clear on what he wants. And then he's constantly changing the subject and then bringing up new ideas. So you try to get to the end of the discovery call. You finally do. You're like, I'll make it happen. Don't worry, Marcus. We're going to make your website good. And you move on. So you think everything is good. You think Marcus understands the scope, what you're going to do. But then you find out the emails start coming right away. New messages, new ideas. And even sometimes he starts to hit you up on the WhatsApp and on the weekend. And now you're feeling the frustration. Meanwhile, Susie's been super quiet, just trusting in you and letting you do your thing. And you want to be focusing on her project because not only is she very pleasant to work in, very professional and just organized, but she's also paying twice as much. But on the other side, Marcus is sucking all your energy. He is taking all of your creativity and leaving you with very little to give to Susie. And now the real frustration and stress kicks in. It doesn't make sense, right? All your time and energy is going over here to this client who is paying you way less than what the good client is paying you. And now this is where friction starts to really kick in. And if you have not been in this situation yet, keep building websites for clients. I guarantee you it is going to happen to you soon. The problem is not Marcus. It's not about him being a bad client. In fact, I don't even consider Marcus to be a bad client. We made the mistake, and it's important for every web designer to take full responsibility always. That is a very powerful thing for us to do. I am a believer in ultimate responsibility. Let me tell you the solution though, and how to fix this. You see, Marcus, he is a new business. He needs extra help. He needs somebody who he could bounce ideas off of. If you put yourself in his shoes, you can feel his stress, his worries, the things keeping him up at night. He probably doesn't really have somebody to talk to about all of this, or he's getting a lot of conflicting information from friends who aren't qualified. It's not that he's a bad client. He just needs more help, more support, and especially more guidance. And we need to charge for that. Now, the way to fix this is in that very first consultation, find out, are you working with a Marcus or a Susie? Are you working with somebody who is going to need more attention, more care, and especially more guidance? If you are, you have to charge them more for all that time, energy, and effort that you're going to need to give to them. A couple questions I like to ask. is what are your marketing plans? How do you plan to drive traffic to your website? That right there tells me how much research and how ready they are for their business. If they could fire off a clear process, something that's very tangible, that you feel that, hey, this is a good marketing plan, then you know you're working with somebody ready to go. But if they fumble, if they cannot answer clearly, or if they just tell you they don't know yet, or they're hoping you could help them out with that, well, now you know that you're dealing with somebody who needs more care. Other questions I always like to ask that give me a lot of information are things like, how often would you like a check-in on the project? How involved would you like to be during the project? And what does a successful project look like to you? What end results are you hoping to see? Something that you would be very happy about and that will help you in your business. I also probe a little bit deeper as well, like, where do you see your business in 1, 2, and 5 years from now? What I'm listening for is how clearly they could articulate their vision. Somebody like Susie, who has already worked in her business for several years, gone through the trials, the failures, has really learned how to structure her business. She's gone through the pain points. She's worked through them, and her vision, her focus, and her needs are very clear. She knows because she's worked through them versus somebody who is brand new. They're not going to be able to articulate clearly. They might not even be able to give you an answer at all. Now, what to do when you get a Marcus and they tell you, we don't have the budget, I need to keep the price low. That, my friend, is a negotiating tactic that they just flipped on you. They just anchored you low. This is why we need to learn sales and we need to learn negotiations. So when somebody tells you anytime we have a low budget, you have to immediately counter their anchor with a high anchor. And it looks something like this. Marcus, he says, I have a low budget. You immediately say, I understand, but my prices start off at this. I'm probably looking at around $6,000 to $10,000 for your project. Is that going to work? And what you did is re-anchored him. Now, he might not be looking to spend that, but he might actually have it. And this is where you got to start the whole sales process with Marcus. You got to let him know that, okay, I see your project is going to need some extra care. We need to set things up inside of your online business. We got to make sure everything is structured. In my experience with new businesses, they actually need more work. And I want to make sure you have the flexibility that I could give you, and we could work closely together to get you that end result. This is actually going to save you a lot more money in the long run, because the last thing I want is for you to have a website that's not going to work, be limited, and just stuck with whatever you get in the very beginning and not happy with it. And then ultimately not really feeling you got your return on your investment. So we got to charge this amount to cover all that time, and I will be there with you. We could have our calls, we could work closely together, and I could guarantee we'll get you something that is going to be awesome for you and get you a return on your investment. You got to be able to do that and talk that way with a Marcus. And if he still says, hey, I just don't have the money for it, all I got is $2,000 for this, then it's like, you don't have enough to invest in this right now. When you do have enough, I'd be happy to help out. We can't take those projects. We have to say no, and it's scary saying no, but it's empowering because you have Susie over here. She's paying you twice as much. Give her twice as much love. Take care of the Susie, because the Susie is going to bring you better clients. Your business is going to grow. The Marcuses, as long as you are undercharging them, they are going to suck you dry. They're going to burn you out. They're going to make you resentful. You're not going to have fun doing what you're doing. Okay, so if you want to know more about the sales process, the whole negotiation strategies and techniques, let me know inside of the comments. I love this stuff because I sucked at it when I started for several years, but once I started learning it, I found that not only was I able to charge appropriately for the value I was delivering to my clients, but I was building better relationships with my clients, professional relationships, and I'm happy to teach more of that, but I want to hear from you. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found value in it, and if you did, don't forget that good YouTube stuff. You know the deal. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.